Good Saturday morning, guys. We are just chilling on the couch and actually watching a collection of cartoons, kind of making it Saturday morning cartoon.
We're bringing it back.
Oh yeah,
Watching Spider-Man now and DuckTales just before this.
Woo! So, yeah, that's what's going on right now. Welcome to our day. Wiping the fan blades off because they get a lot of dust and such on them, and he's like, "Babe, we're cleaning. Get your Vogue mask on." And what this little thing does is it has an air filter right here, so it filters out dust and other potential allergens that could trigger my mast cell or my allergies to mast cell, which then can trigger other things. So yeah, he's right. He's the smart one. I'm the one that's just like, doo-doo-doo, let's go dustin'. Never mind that I'm kind of allergic to it. So that's why we have significant others, right? To remind us not to be stupid. Right, babe?
Yeah.
Babe. Look at the camera. Babe.
What?
That's why we have significant others, to remind us not to be stupid, right?
That's why you have one.
True story.
Hey everybody, we've been cleaning, and let me put those down. And Megan has had a seizure. I don't know how long it was. I was talking on the phone. She has come out of it, but she wanted to share postdictally what happens after a seizure when it doesn't result in a huge swell. So I'm going to tilt the camera to her. She's on the floor with Lady.
My bad. I think I overdid it.
It's kind of what happens when you start to feel a little better.
Yeah. Feeling good and excited about that.
So we do too much and then fall down. But hey, we did not swell, so that's a win.
Major win.
Lady has given her the all clear.
Lady alerts and responds to...
So we can show that real quick. Hey Lady, check. Check. Oh, according to Lady, that means there's more seizure to come. Didn't you just clear a second ago? I guess she was right. Lady's signal is that she licks Megan's hand. So I'm going to cut this off for now. Lady, check. Good girl, good check. See, that's a signal for all clear.
Hi, I'm somewhat human again, but before we go into all of that, John's heading out to go where?
I am going to get the card reader so we can actually dump from the camera into the computer to make the next set of high-def blogs. And then I am going to Trader Joe's, Natural Grocers, and Walmart for different things. I'll finish up my shopping tomorrow at Aldi, Sam's, and possibly the Asian market. And I'm also probably going to stop and get something for dinner while I'm out. Probably Indian from a lovely place called India Palace.
Yum.
And that's what I'm
That's
doing.
Tippy's tail. Sounds awesome, babe. Do you need me to text you a list or anything?
Anything you want, text me. I won't guarantee I'll get it, but you can text me.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, babe. I love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's try this again. So sorry about the whole seizure thing. I mean, not like I did it intentionally. Hi, baby. I should probably explain, if you saw that, I don't know if we left the seizure, if we're going to leave the seizure in the video or not, but that I have a type of epilepsy that is centered in the parietal lobe, and it's not the frontal lobe or the temporal lobe, it's the parietal lobe, and that is an unusual place for them to occur. And like only like 5 to 6% of epileptics have parietal lobe epilepsy. And we're not entirely sure why I have it. It could be the result of some past head trauma. My MRI and CT scans are good though. So, hi, sweetheart. Oh, I love you too. So, we know that I didn't have any bleeds, and because there's no scarring in my on my brain that has shown up in the CT and MRIs that we've done. So that's good. But it just kind of leaves us kind of with well, maybe it's the previous head trauma. And then with all the stress that my body goes through with these chronic illnesses, that perhaps that just kind of led to that. It's kind of anybody's guess. Brains and bodies can be very weird. So my neurologist actually totally agreed with me. So anyway, back to the parietal lobe epilepsy. I get what are called focal or partial seizures. And what that means is only one hemisphere of my brain is involved. So I do not get the type of seizures that probably most of you have seen like on television, where those are called tonic-clonic or grand mal seizures, where the whole body's involved, the person doesn't remember anything. I've had those, but those are typically secondary. And what happens with a partial or focal seizure is, since there's only only one half of my brain involved, I don't completely lose consciousness. Awareness can be altered, and it's really hard to describe what they're like. There's no experience I've had as a human being up to this point that can adequately like be a good comparison. Like I can explain the pressure that I feel when I'm having an HAE attack, and the pressure and the pain that causes, as like, if you've ever gone really deep underwater, like really deep, and you feel that pressure like something's about to burst. It's a similar pressure to that. I can explain the pain that I often have associated with CRPS. I can explain tension. I have all these comparisons that I can make for a lot of what I go through. But what I feel right before a seizure and during the seizure, I don't have much of an explanation for it. Typical seizures I get with my parietal lobe epilepsy are called Jacksonian March seizures. And so my right arm kind of locks up, starts shaking. It travels kind of up, that's the march, kind of up to my head, neck, and sometimes my face as well. Oftentimes my eyes are involved a little bit too, well, more my right eye, and then my right leg. And so I basically lose all motor control. Like and I start shaking. And sometimes it's a real tight tremor, something like shake. Sometimes it's a real big. And so, like, the other side of my body can kind of move with it. There's just all types that people go through with partial. There's a lot of different focal seizures, but that's the one I get the most. I also get a lot of eye movement. Sometimes I my speech is impaired, or I can't even talk at all. And sometimes that happens post-ictal, sometimes that happens in between seizures. So like I'll get these clusters, I'll get a seizure and then I'll get like a pause. And sometimes the pause, my eyes are doing funny things, or like my whole sense of where I'm at in a room changes. Like everything looks far away when I know it's not. Weird stuff. And then sometimes it's like I feel almost normal. And then another seizure will come. So usually I get a few in the cluster. So I get one, a little break, another, a little break, get a few of those. And I'm done. And sometimes, like what happened this afternoon, I get one at the very end. Like it seems to all come down, and then I get like like an aftershock, just a small one, just kind of like brain was just kind of like finally like, oh, okay, good, we're good. So that's my form of epilepsy. If what I go through helps one person, then it's worth it. It gives me a purpose, and I am all about helping others in any way I can. I've always loved teaching. I've always loved helping, and so this is a way that, this vlog, when I had a blog, sharing, my experiences with seizures, and, showing the reality of it, and sharing my stories, all of that, I hope helps somebody in the future, and that helps me keep going too. So I think I've rambled on enough. Well, hopefully John will bring some Indian food here soon. Talk to you in a bit. So we're watching Hellboy. We had Indian for dinner. Watching Hellboy 2 and just chilling out. And as you can see, it's just a super, super cute snooze fest going on. Sweet Honey and Leela and Lady. And
We should never have come. We should never have come. We should never have referenced a movie that's like 10 or 20 years old by now. No one's going to understand the reference. It's just not the reference to use. Why did I do that?
oh my God.
Hello.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know he was going to do that. So cute.
Yeah.
And special.
Oh yeah. So what are we doing?
What are we doing?
It's 1 o'clock.
Yeah, it's late. I just chilled out on the couch and kind of just lost track of time and space.
And since it's 1 o'clock, officially, we've got a whole day without a swell.
And then I had a seizure without a swell, which is pretty big deal too. So hopefully the new medicine stuff is working. And I got this seizure because I overdid it. And well, it's hard. It's hard being sick, chronically ill, and I know when to push it. And let's face it, I almost always push it. Kind of.
It is a rare occasion when she does not push it.
It is. But, sometimes you push it and you're okay with paying the price. Like if I were going out with friends, the 2-day hangover of, oh my gosh, I was out with friends, or really friends come over, because for a while me just going out of the house was pretty risky there for a while. I was like guaranteed complications. But today I wanted to do a little something, and I'm okay. I paid a price for overdoing it, for exerting myself, and it made my asthma act up a little bit, and the hyperventilating triggered the seizure, and that part sucked, and but I was really Loki. Life with animals, it's always interesting. But anyway, just saying, I was glad to be able to do something. It felt good to be motivated to do something and get done. And yeah, the seizure part sucked, but at least I have the satisfaction of I was productive today, and I haven't had nearly as many productive days as I would like lately. So
Because what she would like is all productive days. Every day productive. As you should. So,
but it is 1:00 in the morning,
This is
so
my
I guess
plan.
I should be a little nicer, huh?
yeah. So,
So we'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
good night,
Good
vlog.
night.